Well, what's up, everyone? Welcome to night 2 of my WrestleMania post stream. Guys, it's Denise Salcedo here, and oh my god, we have so much to talk about. This was the first time ever that WWE held WrestleMania in 2 nights. Not one, but 2. Yesterday we recapped the first night, and now we're on to the second night. And after the last couple of minutes of the show, I think we have so much to talk about. So let's go ahead and jump in. But before we get to that, I want to say thank you so much to everyone here in the chat who showed up and came through to support me here on the stream. We're going to have tons of fun as we go through. Please make sure to share your thoughts and your opinions on tonight's show. We are going to be running the main card of the show from the first match to the main event. Once again, we will be focusing on the main match of the main card of the show. Alrighty guys, so here we go. Let's just get right into it. Again, there's so much to talk about. Kicking the show off was none other than the first match, which was, I didn't expect this match to be first, and I'm really glad that it was first because it was the perfect placement for it. And that was Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte for the NXT Championship. Guys, Okay, so in comparison from this match to Becky and Shayna, I will say that I was more hyped and more ready for Becky versus Shayna, but I think that Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair completely outdid themselves, and I'm gonna say that this was my pick for match of the night, guys. Right off the bat, Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair was match of the night for me, okay? That's it, no ands, ifs, or buts. So let's go ahead and jump right into that. So this match I thought was absolutely aggressive. It started off with both women sizing each other up. They really took advantage and utilized the quiet airspace by doing a lot of trash talking. They did a lot of outside ring work. I love the pace of this match. We saw equal aggression from both of these women. We did have Charlotte Flair win this match, guys, which for me was unexpected. These girls went back and forth. I thought this match was fantastic. They were aggressive. Rhea Ripley's character work was dynamic. She sold the hell out of everything that Charlotte Flair did. And Charlotte Flair is so good at playing like the heel, at playing the mean girl. Charlotte knows what she's doing in there. And I think both Rhea and Charlotte have a chemistry that I myself didn't realize was there. So definitely great selling by both of them. I gotta say that both of these girls worked this match very differently from a lot of the other matches that we saw from tonight's show. They worked this match like it was an empty arena. Like they knew for a fact, hey, this is an empty, there's nobody here, so let's work this match differently. And I felt that and I loved it. So guys, what were your thoughts on Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley? They did have some great moments. Again, non-stop back and forth action. Rhea Ripley smacking her knee out of frustration was another really good touch. We had a lot of near falls. The submissions kept me in anticipation. I honestly thought that this was a WrestleMania caliber match. But let's go ahead and see what you guys are saying here. Alright, let's see. Okay, Mesmer Knight says it was easily the best women's match of the weekend. It was definitely one of the best matches of the weekend, period. Not just the best women's matches, definitely the best women's match, but I would say overall one of the best matches by far. D-Train says Charlotte can now work with the NXT ladies and Rhea. I think it's gonna going to the main roster. Yeah, and here's the thing that I was shocked that this title switched hands. I honestly thought that Rhea Ripley was going to walk out as champion. Like, I had zero doubt in my mind that Rhea Ripley was going to retain her bout, but I was completely and utterly wrong. And I know that a lot of people were very upset at the fact that Charlotte became the new NXT champion. But here's the thing, guys. Like D-Train just pointed out, Charlotte already did everything she could do on Raw and SmackDown. That's it. There's nothing else for her to really do there. So now at NXT, she can have matches with people like Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, Toni Storm. There's so much to do, and she can still continue her feud that she has right now with Rhea Ripley. And I know some people could be like, oh, well, maybe this hurts Rhea Ripley. No, because she lost a very competitive match to Charlotte, guys. She didn't just lose to anybody. This was a really good match, and she really fought for that belt, and I honestly don't think we can take anything away from either one of these two girls. Definitely not Rhea Ripley as well. So let's see. Tommy says, right woman won unexpected and leads to better matchups going forward. And then another Tommy Moody says, women's tag match from yesterday was the best match of the weekend. You know what? I originally thought that, Tommy, because I did love that match so much. But after seeing this match, I'm going to have to say that this one was better. Wayne says he cannot wait for the rematch. Oh my God, are you kidding me? These two have definitely taken it up to another level. They have taken it up a notch, so I can definitely see them doing a lot more. Ryan Smith says, surprise Charlotte won, but it opens up a lot of new matches for Charlotte. And he says one of them being Io Shirai. Beerside Comics, though, is on the other end of this discussion. He said he is so tired of Charlotte Flair. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of people had very different opinions of this. Nick says, I'm not a fan of either of them, so I don't have much to say. Ha ha. However, there were some good bumps in there. Are you kidding me? There was so much good stuff. Like, these women came and they had a WrestleMania caliber match, okay? They did, I think they were, I don't know how to explain it, guys. Their batteries were on. They were actually going out there and performing like if there was those 70,000 people out there. The way they worked their match, though, it wasn't that way, but they did put a match on that it could have been like if there was people there. Let's see. And Mesmer Knight says, Bianca looks like she is coming to Raw already, too. Yes, we'll talk about that later. From basically what I've been seeing, it does look like Bianca has been called up to Raw. But I do not, yeah, so we'll get to that later on. Let's see. Anybody else? Okay, perfect. Steven says, Charlotte being off Raw and SmackDown leaves a big hole to fill on these rosters. Yeah, but again, so many fresh matchups. So guys, right off the bat, match of the night, Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. Let's go ahead and pull up my, there you guys go. So Charlotte Flair is the new NXT Women's Champion, which was completely unexpected, kind of out of nowhere, but hey, it was what it was. Oh, I do want to mention, though, that there was a spot that I really enjoyed, which was essentially the finish, when Charlotte had Rhea in the figure four, and they were essentially just smacking each other back and forth, and then I really enjoyed that, so I will say that I loved the finish to this match, even though I really truly thought that Rhea Ripley was going to be walking out the NXT Women's Champion. Now, guys, I will say this from here. The show kind of went downhill for a while. For a while, the show went downhill, like in the nicest way possible. I was not crazy about the next few matches, so I will say that we went from a really high point to kind of some low points here, but let's go ahead and jump right into it either way. Match number 2 for the main card was Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. Aleister Black did get the win here today. To be honest, this match didn't really have my interest prior to the show, and it didn't gain my interest during this match. Overall, they did wrestle at a nice pace. It was perfectly fine, but it could have been a simple, quick, like 1 minute match. We could have literally just seen a black mass. We could have literally just seen a black mass by Aleister, and that could have been it. This match could have easily been seen on Raw. It was not a WrestleMania caliber match whatsoever. So, I mean, it was what it was. I didn't have high expectations for this match, and I don't think very many people did. But chat, what did you think about Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley? And for those of you watching in the replay, you are more than welcome to drop your comments and thoughts throughout any portion of this stream. You can drop them in the comments section, because I do go back and read all the comments. Let's see. Win of the night goes to Otis. We'll get there, beer side. Let's see. Okay, Wayne Burno says, yeah, it sucked bad. Jonathan says this match had no point. Tommy says, finished cooking during dinner during this match. Oh man, honestly, Tommy, I could not blame you on that one. Tommy says Bobby should have quit wrestling 15 years ago. I don't think I necessarily agree with that statement. It's just that he's the whole Lana, Rusev, Bobby Lashley thing kind of really took a hit for Bobby Lashley too, where I lost interest in really anything that he does right now until that stuff is kind of separated out. Like, that's just being honest. Jonathan Reyes says I wouldn't even put this match on the main event, which I'm guessing you wanted to say main card, but yeah, I get you on that one. Omar Rivera says it was short, but the ending was good for Alistair. Yeah, but it could have been better. I mean, literally, this match could have been like a quick, 1-2 minutes, less than a minute, quick black mass, and that's it. The match could have ended, and it would have made Alistair look like $1 million bucks. Stephen Butler says, yes, filler match. Lana stopping Bobby from doing his finisher suggests a breakup could be soon. Yes, thank you so much for pointing that out. We did get to see a little anger between both of them. So guys, after months and months of having to sit through the Bobby Lashley, Lana, Rusev angle, we are now getting a tease of a breakup. So there you go. It is what it is. Ryan Smith says Black and Lashley was just meh. This was a 1 hour Raw match. Yep, there you go. Well said. Louise says, I think that match works to further push Black, and I'm all in for that. While Francisco says Charlotte is the man she's carrying on the legacy for sure. Okay, I get what you're saying here. All right, guys, so overall, I think we're all on the same page that the Aleister Black, Bobby Lashley match probably didn't do anything for us. Now, next up, guys, is, for me, the winner of WrestleMania, period. And so, match itself, okay, match-wise, this match was like whatevers, right? It was just there. We weren't expecting like an amazing match out of this, but this one was all for the story and for justice for Otis. So what I'm talking about is match number 3, and it is Otis versus Dolph Ziggler. The match started off with both of them going back to back. Otis, excuse me. So one of the things that I did want to say is that back-to-back Aleister Black, Bobby Lashley to this match kind of really slowed down the show until the ending of this match. This match really wasn't anything until Mandy came out and attacked Sonya. There you guys go. So, guys, I gotta say this though. This was very cute. It was fun. It was a love story. Mandy came out. She is now officially Otis's girl. They share a kiss, guy. A kiss. I think we all saw this one coming and we were hoping for it. At least I know I was. It gave the people what we wanted, and what we wanted was justice for Otis. So the match itself wasn't anything, but the result of this was fun. And you know what's interesting? That Otis was trending at number 1, guys. Number 1 on Twitter. I mean, he had his WrestleMania moment. He got the girl, he got the kiss, and then he got the number 1 trending spot on Twitter. Come on. Not very many people can say that. Chat, what did you guys all think of Otis, Dolph Ziggler, and most importantly, the kiss between Otis and Mandy? All right, let's see. Mesmer says, Otis and Love both wins. The fans didn't. The fans didn't. Wait, the fans didn't because we had to see the kiss? Mark C, I literally hate everyone in this story outside of Mandy. How could you hate Otis, though? He is so lovable. How could you hate Otis? Beardside Comics says, hashtag Otis. I love the worm into the elbow drop. Yep, that was really fun. I liked when Otis was hyping himself up too. That was pretty funny. D-Train says, gives us guys out there with Baileys hope that they can get the girl. Tommy says, yeah, this was awesome. Francisco says, Otis is a lucky man. I definitely agree with that. Did you guys really see? He really went in for that kiss, by the way. I don't know how many of you guys actually, some of you might of looked away, covered your eyes. I looked. I was like, I need to see this kiss, and I need to study it. And I saw so much lip movement from Otis. If you go back and you watch that, the actual clip, you will see some nice bottom lip action coming from Otis. Having cared about Dolph since the Miz feud, but Otis is really good for a big guy, in my opinion. Nick says the match fit the storyline very well. They did great putting this one together. Guys, yeah, it was a feel-good moment. It was a happy moment. It's what everybody wanted. Robert says, gotta love Otis, and Brandon points out it was a really good moment that was highlight of both nights. D-Train says, hell yeah, he went in for the kiss. Who wouldn't? Yeah, all right, there you guys go. Otis wins for this one, guys. Hands down to Otis. Good moment. Good WrestleMania moment. All right, moving on. BTW, for those of you who are just tuning into the stream, we are recapping part 2 of WrestleMania. We're doing the main card from the top to the bottom, and right now we just finished recapping Otis versus Dolph Ziggler. Let's go ahead and jump into match number 4. Match number 4. Ooh, guys. All right, so Randy Orton versus Edge in a last man standing match. Edge won this match. I'll just start off by saying that this was earlier today when I did an interview. I basically said that this match, along with the Drew McIntyre Brock Lesnar match, was the match that were the two matches that I was, and I'm not going to go out and say, oh my God, it was terrible or anything like that. Unfortunately, I just thought it took a really, really, really long time, guys. It took forever, to the point where it kind of got me, focusing on Twitter instead, reading people's comments. It took me out of the match. It didn't capture me whatsoever. But let's start it off, guys. Randy basically kicked off the match, disguising himself as a cameraman, and hit Edge with the RKO. This match had to start off differently to justify the fact that this match had an incredible build. No match had the build that the Randy Orton Edge match had. I mean, from Edge's return to the Royal Rumble, to every single promo that he's cut, the Beth Phoenix, Randy Orton segment, everything that was done prior to this match was absolutely phenomenal. So I was very disappointed that I didn't feel the same way about the actual match itself. During the photo that you're seeing here, during this part, Randy Orton was saying, I'm always gonna love you, but he proceeded to beat Edge. I personally really enjoyed this part, though, because it kind of felt sort of twisted that, he's saying he loves this guy, but yet he's still beating him up. And so I thought this added a really good character dynamic to Randy Orton and who he is and who he has been during this feud. So essentially, we took a tour of the PC during this match. We saw Edge and Randy Orton go everywhere. They went to the gym. They went in through the hallways. We even got to see the office, a full-on tour of the WWE Performance Center. The cameraman even took a bump during all of this. Guys, the only issue with this match was honestly the length. The length of the match was the only thing, and the problem is that there was not very many bumps, and if there were too far and few in between. So a lot of time went by before we actually saw something. And then this portion I thought was kind of a little bit of a tease, just because we see all of these weapons, all of these things. In my head, I'm getting creative. I'm wondering, what is Randy Orton gonna do? What is he gonna do? And the answer was really not much. So because of that, I was not really totally feeling this match, unfortunately. We did get to see them go into the interview section. We saw Edge do an elbow from the top of a platform onto the table. This match, uh Edge took a serious beating, guys. A serious beating. And I think I know what they were going for with this match. They were trying to really make it like a real serious prolonged thing, but it just didn't work. This match could have been edited down a lot, but I do think that if they were going to edit it down, though, it would have been a lot more obvious because there would have been a lot of jump cuts from place to place. So I know a lot of people do think this match could have been edited down, but it would have sort of produced a little bit of a struggle there to actually be able to really do that. So the match ended. They were both at the top in the top of the production truck, the NXT production truck, and essentially Edge hit Randy Orton with the concerto, and that was the end of it. So guys, what were your thoughts on all of this? Did this match do the built justice? Let's see what you guys are saying down here in the chat. So let's kick it off with Jonathan Reyes, who says, it is not how I wanted to see Edge's comeback match. I have to agree with you. I don't think that's what any of us expected, is considering that they've been putting their best work. And it's not to say that they didn't give their best work. It just took a really, really long time. Francisco Blanco says, was kind of long, but the end was awesome. Yeah, we even got to see a very different side of Edge where he brought out a lot of emotion. There was a point where he looked like he was on the verge of crying. Mark C says, yeah, they could have shaved off 8 to 9 minutes. I would even go a little bit more, to be honest. A little bit more. They could have probably taken off a little bit more of that. Let's see. D-Train says, too long, it was missing something. Edge should have been more angry. I mean, Orton RKO'd his wife. I'd be throwing him through glass and such. That's very interesting because you're saying that you didn't feel that Edge gave that off that much emotion. That's very interesting to me because that's not one of the things that I personally noticed from this match, mainly because he was taking a beating pretty much the entire time. Steven says, I looked forward to the match, but it went way too long. However, I did like the backstage tour of the Performance Center. Me too. We got to see some snacks. We got to see where they have their office meeting. We got to see all of the little frames. I myself was like eyeing them, trying to see who they have pictures of down in the hallway. He also adds, and the finish on the top of the truck, that he enjoyed the finish off the top of the truck, and good facials from Edge as usual. Mark C points out, felt like WWE used this match as advertisement for the Performance Center. I don't necessarily think that's what they used this match for. I just think that that's just the way it ended up working itself out. Mesmer Knight says Gargano and Ciampa did it better. Raphael did like the finish. Nick says, I'm mixed on this match. Edge definitely hung in there, but it was too slow for me. They made Edge look weak when I think he can really hang. That's another interesting point. Raphael also likes the spot where Edge climbed the cage over the table. Yeah, that was pretty unique when they were in the office and they had the cage on the top of the ceiling. That was pretty interesting just because you didn't really know what he was going to actually do there. Sorry, I'm trying to find the actual graphic. You didn't really know what he was going to do there, so I think that all of our minds were racing with curiosity, and it was a pretty nasty bump because Edge took a pretty, it hurt Edge just as much as it hurt Randy Orton. Omar Rivera points out, it was a good match, but the commentary was trash and long. I had to change the language to Spanish because Carlos made it enjoyable. Oh, thank you so much for pointing that out. So that was one of the number one things that I saw on Twitter from people's commentary saying they were not happy whatsoever with the commentary. I think that the commentary could have maybe delivered it a little bit differently because they were sort of, making it more of a serious type of thing, and I get that, but I think the fact that the match was slow and the commentary was very slow paced, it kind of made it feel a little bit heavier. So that's what I'm probably going to say about that. But it's very interesting to me that you switched over to the Spanish feed because now I'm very curious. I know for a fact the Spanish feed made it fun. I can't ever imagine the Spanish feed not being fun. Freaks of Wrestling podcast notes, last man standing match was awesome and I loved it. Colin Buckle says, I thought it should have been no holds barred, just my opinion. Brandon Peters, it was long, but they did what they could considering what they had to work with. No, I think they could have done a lot more, to be honest, Brandon. I really, really did. There was a lot of different stuff. I almost felt like we got some teases, but hey, it was what it was, guys. So overall, that was the Edge Randy Orton match. Now let's go ahead and move on to match number 5. So let me just point out that during the last 3 matches during the show, I was already starting to feel a little tired. So I'm going to say that I was thankful for match number 5. And match number 5 was the tag team match for the Raw titles. Austin Theory and Angel Garza versus the Street Profits and Zelina Vega on the corner with Austin Theory and Angel Garza. First of all, I gotta say that Montez Ford is so easily one of my most favorite people. He has a whole other level of energy that I just can't help but to very much appreciate. I love Zelina's outfits as well with the little skulls on the corners. Excuse me one second, guys. All right, technical difficulties. Sorry. All right, so we had a nice moment between Garza. He hit a nice moonsault on both of the Street Profits. We saw a cool frog splash from Montez Ford. We know that he always kills it when he does that. And this match was really quick. It had some good spots, but I will say this, it wasn't like anything special either. Had it been maybe a couple more minutes, I mean, we had a little extra more spots, I think this match could have been a really, really good tag team match. But it did what it did. It got the Street Profits to win the titles, and that was it. But we could have easily borrowed 10 minutes from the Edge Randy Orton match, or 5 minutes, or however many minutes, and lent them over to this match instead, because I think this one would have definitely been, I think they could have done a better use of those extra few minutes. So, thoughts, by the way, Street Profits did retain their belts. Thoughts on this match, everyone? Let's see. Mark C says this match should have been on the pre-show. 0 built. You know what? This match, it was fine for where it was. I wouldn't necessarily push it to the pre-show, to be honest. I would have pushed the Aleister Black Bobby Lashley match to the pre-show. The frog splash looked like it hurt Angelo. Just rewatch it and you will see looked like it hurt. All right, I will definitely rewatch that and see if I catch that. Ryan Smith notes, after a Raw in Denver in October, Montez and Angelo came out, and once he saw fans by the exit, he climbed onto his rental car and raised his red Solo cup. LOL. Mark C points out, funny thing is, Zelina is the most charismatic and talented out there of the people she manages, in my opinion. Okay, so first of all, Angel Garza has an incredible amount of charisma. I don't think we could take that away from him. But Zelina just knows what she is doing out there. When she talks, when she's outside, you know, doing her managerial stuff, she always knows what she is doing. She's always on point. She never messes up. I cannot help but to put over Zelina all the time. I could put her up over all the time, seriously. Thank you so much, Ryan Smith, for reminding me, because I needed to post this picture up, but clearly I had some sort of issue. Oh, there you go. So we did see a post-match attack. Basically, Austin Theory and Angel Garza started beating up the Street Profits right after this, but then we saw Bianca Belair have her WrestleMania moment. She came out and essentially attacked Zelina Vega, and this is what we were talking about earlier, that it looks like Bianca Belair is moving to the Raw roster. Has not been confirmed yet that I know of for right now, but from the looks of it, she might definitely be. What were your guys' thoughts on Bianca Belair coming out here and having this WrestleMania moment? Go ahead and add that to the chat here. Let's see. D-Train just says that it was a nice surprise and happy to see Bianca Belair with her husband, says Ryan Smith. Alrighty, guys, so there you go. That was match number 5. So after this, we still have 3 more matches to go. BTW, for those of you who are watching the replay, thank you so much for coming in here. Go ahead and leave your comments, your thoughts in the comment section below. Shout out to everybody who came through in the chat section. You guys are awesome. If it wasn't for you guys, I'd be talking to myself like a crazy woman. So thank you all so much for coming in here and chatting with me. We are running through each match from top to bottom from the main card. So here we go. Let's continue on. We are now on match number 6. Alrighty, guys. Match number 6, Sasha versus Lacey Evans versus Bayley, who is the champion, versus Tamina versus Naomi for the SmackDown Women's Championship in an elimination match. So right off the bat, they start off attacking Tamina. Sasha saved Bayley a few times, so we saw a lot of play between these two girls. I thought the silent stare downs were a little bit awkward during this match, but all the women did a lot during this match for sure. Tamina was the first to be eliminated. Naomi was just getting her moment when she also got eliminated. And then after that, we had a really cool moment where Bayley and Sasha were calling Lacey, "Come on, mommy, come on, mommy." I thought that was pretty hilarious, and we had that during the show. That was nice. But the end came when Bayley and Sasha kind of got into each other's faces there for a minute, and once they did that, Sasha was distracted, and Lacey ended up eliminating Sasha Banks there, and now the final 2 were... One second, guys. Technical difficulties. Sorry. All right, there we go. All right, the remaining 2 girls in the match were Bayley and Lacey Evans, but then Sasha Banks came out and essentially helped Bayley. So all I gotta say is that Sasha knows exactly what she wants. She wants Bayley, and she wants to win that title from Bayley, and from the looks of it, it might be happening at SummerSlam. But once again, that is just some major foreshadowing on my part. And Bayley did retain her belt. Guys, what were your thoughts on this match? I myself thought it was fine. It was what it was. It wasn't anything. I didn't expect any more or any less from this. I did feel that the Bayley Sasha thing could have been felt. I think commentary could have made a bigger deal about it. I don't think that they sold it enough. So I will say that was a kind of a minus for me. Here we go. Let's see. Tommy says, good storytelling to keep things going. Tommy Moody says, no surprises during this match. Yeah, exactly. Colin points out, I feel like they did the women's matches good this WrestleMania. The women's matches, it depends, but for the most part, I think a lot of them have been good because they know they have a lot of pressure, and a lot of people, they judge women's matches differently from the men's matches. I'll just say that much. And Francisco said, I wanted the Southern Belle to win the championship. Wayne Barrow says, we might see it next Friday. And Omar also thinks Lacey should have won. Wow, we have some people here that were going for Lacey Evans. I really did not expect that. I really did not expect that at all. Mark C says, I am in favor of anything that gets Sasha with the women's title. Nick White points out, this wasn't a bad match, but I think Sasha is getting closer to going after the title, and that's why she helped Bayley win. Yeah, she definitely did this, guys. Like, she had a plan for this, and I loved it because it adds a manipulation layer to Sasha. And even when she had that interview prior to this match, they're definitely teasing it, guys. I think we can all see this match eventually happening pretty soon. If not, it's just going to be the world's longest tease because they've been teasing the Sasha Bayley thing for a really, really long time. Alrighty, guys, moving on. Match number 7. I have no earthly idea how to explain this one to you. Match number 7 was the Firefly Funhouse. Bray Wyatt versus John Cena. John Cena came out, he had an entrance, but then essentially he was transported into this crazy, he was transported to the Firefly Funhouse that then turned into a crazy montage of a million clips that felt very, very psychedelic. There was a lot of really good moments. I laughed when John Cena was lifting the weights. I thought that was pretty funny. They went back and forth between like showing flashbacks of other things to being in the ring, comparing career moments, comparing John Cena's moments. We even saw a puppet of Vince McMahon that was kind of very creepy, and eventually the puppet ended up doing commentary. We saw clips of WCW. We saw clips of Eric Bischoff. Guys, I don't even know how to explain this. Bray Wyatt was singing the Bella song, which was a shot at John Cena and his former relationship with Nikki. John Cena called Bray Wyatt fat back in his Husky Harris days. This went back and forth. A lot happened here. My assumption here is that Bray Wyatt ended up winning this match. But guys, I can't even really call it a match. It was unlike anything I've ever seen before, okay? Unlike anything I've ever seen before. I don't even know what to do with it. It was very different from the Boneyard match, because the Boneyard match felt more like a movie. This just felt like psychedelic. It felt like a crazy music video, and it was all over the place. I liked it because it was so different and I did not expect it. When they said Firefly Funhouse, I thought, okay, it's gonna be this really cool fun house. It's gonna have mirrors and it's gonna have puppets, and they're all gonna pop out and they're gonna creep out John Cena, and Bray Wyatt's gonna play mind games with him, and I honestly thought that that's what the match was gonna be, but I was completely and utterly wrong. But guys, what were your thoughts on this very, very unique WWE match? Here we go. I'm seeing the comments popping in. Woo! All right, let's start off with Sandro. Hey, Sandro. Sandro says Hollywood Cena was the best. Yeah, that was pretty fun. D-Train says, but according to the Vince puppet, this is good shit. Yes. Beerside Comics says Firefly Funhouse was the best. Was it better than the Boneyard match? What did you guys like more? The Firefly Funhouse or the Boneyard match? Francisco points out it was time to light up the big fat doobie. I know, right? That's what a lot of people were noting, that this was like a comparison with being on drugs. I don't know. I've never done drugs, never been on drugs, have no idea. Tommy, the entire Cena match felt like a promo that should have been a promo for a match. Interesting. Mesmer, this match was such shit. Vince said so himself. # don't cuss. Wayne Burnham. Yeah, what kind of match was this? It was just a good old time. I don't even think I could call it a match. I would feel weird calling it a match. Tommy Passad says this was tremendous, transported into his own mind. Macho and Vince on commentary was classic old school Raw. Key words here, transported into his own mind. That is definitely what I think happened here. John Cena was transported to the Firefly Funhouse, which was then essentially Bray Wyatt, the Fiend's mind lit on fire times 100. I don't even know how to describe it. Francisco points out it was a crazy trip. Raphael says he loved it. It was super creative. And Colin says, I can't believe they showed a clip of CM Punk blowing a kiss at Cena. Nick White says, disappointed this wasn't an actual match, but it was insanely creative. But what kind of drugs were WWE onto when they came up with this? That's a really good question. Mosqueda says, did anyone else get excited to see the half second they showed CM Punk blowing kiss during the match? Freaks of Wrestling podcast, what the hell did we watch with Bray and Cena? It was amazing and very creative and weird too, but I loved it. Let's see who else. Sean Bentley says, I felt like I was on a drug trip or something. Everyone who's done drugs is apparently saying so. So I will just take your guys' word for this. Colin Buckle points out, I thought it would be like the House of Sister Abigail match. He did not like this match, and Wayne Barrow says it wasn't even a match. Guys, I can't call this a match at all. Oma Rivera says, the Cena versus Angle 2002 segment was fun. Cena missed the punches. Is that what you're trying to say? Did I read that right? Steven says, my next nominee for the WTF Did I Just Watch award for 2020. For a 50-plus-year-old wrestling fan like me, I enjoyed the craziness. I'm pretty sure you've never seen anything like that before, and I think that's what we have to give credit to. Huge kudos to WWE for that one. They surprised us back to back to back with the Boneyard match and the Firefly Funhouse. Now, earlier I asked you guys what you thought was better, the Boneyard match or the Firefly Funhouse. Mesmer Knight, Sean Bentley, Steven Butler, and Tommy all say the Boneyard match was better, and I'm gonna have to agree with you guys. Although the Firefly Funhouse was completely creative, unlike anything I've ever seen before, I will say that I did enjoy the Boneyard match a little bit more just because I understood what was happening. It was mainly a production thing, but I understood what was happening there. But I didn't necessarily understand what was happening with the Firefly Funhouse, but that's okay because it was different. So there we go again. Awesome job to WWE for doing that. Now, we are moving Drew McIntyre. That should be his new name now since he did win the title. Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. Guys, this match was you know what? I'm going to say this. I liked this match. Brock started with the attack on really quick. Drew hit Brock with the Claymore. Suplex by Brock. 2 suplexes, 3 suplexes, and then Brock hits Drew McIntyre with an F5. Then we saw a second F5 and a third F5 and an F5 and another Claymore. And essentially after that we saw 2 more Claymores from Drew McIntyre for a total of 4, which then eventually got him the win. And as suspected, Drew McIntyre is now the WWE Champion. And there you go, Brock Lesnar is laid out cleanly. This was what I expected it to be, but I will say that just because I expected it doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it, because I enjoyed it very much. The unfortunate part, though, is that Drew McIntyre did not get his glorious WrestleMania moment with all the fireworks and all the people screaming. I will say that is the bummer, but hey, it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. So, thoughts on the main event. Here we go. Oh, by the way, Sean Bentley says we went to the multiverse with the Firefly Funhouse. I think so too. All right. JJ Bulldog notes that he was happy when Drew McIntyre won. Mesmer Knight says both men's championship matches felt like they were the same thing. Interesting. JJ Bulldog says Drew deserved it. Wayne says this match sucked balls so bad. All right, Wayne, I didn't think it sucked balls. Honestly, I really did not. I actually thought it was fine. I think that it felt like it sucked because there was no audience. And in this type of match, I do think you need an audience because we feed off those pops. They feed off those pops. We feed off those pops. Nick White says this was too much like the Goldberg-Braun match, but so happy to have the title back on a full-time wrestler. JJ says, thank God, finally. Francisco notes, too short, but Drew and Brock really did a good job. Just wish the pyro was there and 80,000 fans screaming, yes, exactly. That moment was robbed from Drew McIntyre, and he should get that moment eventually sometime down the line in some other way. Colin, I feel like they should have should have taken some time out of Edge. Oh, I feel like they should have taken some time out of the Edge and Orton match and put it in this match. You know, I feel like based on how the show was going, I knew for a fact that Drew McIntyre Brock Lesnar was not going to go very long. So I don't think I necessarily agree with that, just because I feel like we could tell that it wasn't going to be that long. Sean Bentley says, Drew. He is a top baby face right now. He gets bragging rights. Raphael says, as long as Drew won, I was happy. And JJ says, I keep telling them this is Drew Mania. Alrighty, guys, so there you go. That was essentially WrestleMania Night 2. I'm going to go ahead and say that so many notes here, guys. I'm trying to keep track of everything. So first of all, as an overall roundup of the night, match of the night by far, in my opinion, was Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley for sure. And then I will say that I really enjoyed... I could have enjoyed the Randy Orton match, Edge match a lot more. And then the Firefly Funhouse and Drew McIntyre Brock were probably the best highlights of today's show. With yesterday's show, I'm going to definitely say that obviously the Boneyard match, the opening tag match, and Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens were some of the best matches of the night. But overall, that was WrestleMania 36 with no audience for 2 nights. But before we go, I do have a few questions for you guys. And one of them is, so do we want WrestleMania from now on to be 1 or 2 nights? Now that we've experienced 2 nights, do we want it to stay this way? Do we want to go back to the traditional 8-9 hour WrestleMania? Or do you guys like the quick 3 hours? Maybe with the pre-show 4-hour WrestleManias? How do you guys feel about it? Again, WrestleMania 37 will be taking place in Los Angeles next year. So I don't know how I'm going to feel if it is a 2-night WrestleMania. Going to WrestleMania for 2 nights back to back instead of 1 night. No idea how that's going to feel because I've never done it before. All right, let's see. Tommy says, with all that's happening, this has been fun. Thank you for doing this and getting everyone together and enjoying wrestling as a family. Thank you so much, Tommy. Colin Buckle says he wants it to be 1 night. And Sean Bentley wants it to be 1 night. Beerside Comics, 1 night with no filter. D-Train says, I'd like it to be 2 nights, but with NXT Hall of Fame, etc., they probably won't do it. Mesmer Knight says, if it goes to 2 nights, we will lose NXT TakeOver. So interesting. A lot of people still want it to be 1 night. JJ says, I might go for 1 night for next year on Fox Live ESPN. I'm on the fence with this one, honestly. Nick White says, 1 night. WWE schedule is too packed to be able to do 2 nights. What if people can't afford tickets to both nights? Good point. SmackDown being live on Friday would hurt a 2-night Mania. Omar says, I prefer 1 night. I don't think if they're going to do it, they're going to do 2 nights for 2 big stadiums. Wayne Burnell says, if they do 2 nights, 1 night should be SmackDown and the second night should be Raw. Colin Buckle says, 2-night Mania is like the 7-man elimination chamber. Don't like it. Raphael, I'm just glad that we at least got to enjoy something other than this stupid virus crap on TV. And Francisco, see you next year at SoFi Stadium. Guys, so I'm very surprised. I thought a lot of people were going to immediately say 2 nights because, to be honest, I'm still on the fence. I really have not decided how I feel. I personally still like the 1 night just because as a person that goes and attends WrestleMania live, I love the feeling of going to this really, really big show, this real grand spectacle, and experiencing it for 1 night and knowing that I'm there and knowing that it's a big deal. Now, if I'm watching at home, I don't necessarily mind the 2 nights, but I do think that given all the other factors of an audience and the really high production value, I do think that I would prefer the 1 night, but again, I am still on the fence. I truly have not decided. Tommy says 1 night for 4 hours, but if anything longer, 2 nights. Yeah, if it was a short 1 night, that would probably fix a lot of people's, because there's so many matches that sometimes really don't need to be on the WrestleMania card, but I get it, they want to give everybody a WrestleMania moment, so I totally get that, but I do think that it kind of sucks, because for the big matches that should get all of the fans' attentions, that takes away from it, and sometimes the people don't get the attention they deserve. Exhibit A being the main event of last year's year's WrestleMania with Ronda, Charlotte, and Becky, the crowd was so tired and so exhausted by the time that match came that it didn't necessarily get all of the hype and all of the energy that it needed to get. So I think for situations like that, it does really depend. It should either be 2 nights or keep it a lot shorter. But I don't see them making it a shorter WrestleMania. Alrighty, everyone. So there you go. That was part 2 of our WrestleMania live stream. I gotta say thank you guys so much for coming in both nights. Night 1 was extremely fun. Today was fun just to kind of go over and talk about everything that we saw here tonight. I think that WrestleMania this year had a lot of really good moments, and so because of that, I'm going to say I had a really good time, but most importantly, I had an awesome time doing this live stream with all of you, and I hope to do some more wrestling live streams in the future. If you guys want to see them, please, please, please let me know on Twitter or here on my YouTube channel. Plus, if you did enjoy this live stream, whether you watched it live or on replay, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And in the comments section below, let me know what your favorite WrestleMania match was, or your favorite WrestleMania moment, or what you thought about the Firefly Funhouse. There's just so much to talk about, so go ahead and drop it in the comments section below as well. And for everybody else watching, keep an eye out because I do have some more stuff coming to the channel. Do not forget to follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at _Denise Salcedo. Love you all, and thank you guys so much for watching my stream, and have a happy rest of WrestleMania day. Bye!